points where you're like, okay, I'm not able to grasp in this concept? Do you not find yourself constantly struggling? And if so, how do you deal with that?
So it is not important for you to learn everything and mug up everything, because science is something you have to understand.
But I find a lot of my juniors struggling in being so uncertain about which stream should they opt, right? Hello and namaste, everyone. I am Srishti Kabra, the host of today's DPS podcast. I, along with my friend Vrunda Partani, are here to discuss about our academic journey. Right, Vrunda?
Yes, Srishti. Welcome to our podcast. I am Vrunda Partani from grade 11 Science, and today I'm here with my friend. We are here to speak about academic journey, our academic journeys, and how we have opted for our respective courses.
So, Vrunda, what made you choose between science and commerce in your academic journey?
From a very early age, I was always drawn towards what's happening around my environment. And I had the question how and why about the natural phenomena happening. With time, I realized that science would be the best stream for me because it aligns with the subject of my interests. How about you, Srishti?
I have opted for commerce. And I have opted for commerce because it aligns with my future goal and my vision. But let's take a moment of reflection, right? Let's reflect for a moment. Tell me, the decision that you made, do you think it was the correct one? If so.
Yeah, I do think that my decision was the correct decision. For me personally, my journey has been going well so far. Every journey has its own struggles and setbacks. But again, I opted it because I wanted to, and I am there, and I will continue to struggle and work hard. How about you?
I think commerce has been working out for me lately. But do you not think, because you've opted for a stream like science, do you not encounter certain, points where you're like, okay, I'm not able to grasp in this concept? Do you not find yourself constantly struggling? And if so, how do you deal with that?
Science is a vast field. You have subjects like physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology. And personally, these topics can be related to each other and might not be related to each other.
100%.
Right? So it is not important for you to learn everything and mug up everything, because science is something you have to understand through what is working in your environment and how things are. You have to relate it with real life examples, and only then you will be able to understand and you will be able to
absorb these concepts, right?
Right.
But I find a lot of my juniors struggling in being so uncertain about which stream should they opt, right? So what would be your piece of advice for them?
I think our juniors, they should take a step back and, not feel pressurized. They know what is best for them. And they never know. I think our juniors, they should take a step back and think about what is the best for them, what aligns with their mindset and goals, right? And they know what's the best for them. And what do you think about it?
I think, as you mentioned, taking a step back is very important. And also reflecting on your own abilities. So let's say if you have a certain skill set, I think you need to see if those skill sets are are suited for which streams. So let's say if you have skills like critical thinking, analytical thinking, whatever that is, you need to figure out. Okay, you need to figure out what skill sets do you already possess, and then see if these skill sets are required in the stream that you want to opt for. I think that, along with talking to your parents, I think having candid conversations with your parents where you tell them about your passion, what do you essentially want, where do you see yourself after 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the long run? You need to have honest conversations with your parents. And sometimes your parents may not be able to, understand you. They might differ in certain aspects and have different set of opinions. But at the end of the day, if you are willing, you can convince them. Be honest with them, speak with them. And I think when you combine all these tips, you will be able to make a more informed decision, right?
Correct. Okay, so a lot of students, what they do is end up scoring 90 or more than 90 in their 10th grade, and they think that science is the best suited career option for them, and that they will be able to do the best in that career. What is your take on that?
My take on that, that's a very interesting question, because I've seen myself, I see students, constantly switching between their streams. But I think it's a good thing to do. I think, when you see, there's different way of dealing with things, right? So you can either experience it and then take decision, or you can just look at it from a distance and tell, okay, this is what I want, this is what I do not want. So I think it's okay to figure out. I think it's okay to experience. And I see students switch, but I think it's a good thing. I think they need to figure out what's the best for them. And if that can be done by experiencing it. So let's say if you want to figure out, so let's say if I were to go back.
But do you not think switching between careers will lead to them confusing themselves what is correct for them? What is your take on that?
I've seen students switch from science to commerce and then return to science again. And I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's important for all of us to figure out what's the best for us. And you can either figure out it by, looking at it from a distance and say, you can figure out by looking at it from a distance or actually experiencing it. And some people may be able to take more informed decision by opting for science, and then after some time, if they think that it's not working out for them, they can switch back to commerce, right? And if they wish to, if they think that, okay, commerce is working out for me, then they can continue with commerce. I think experiencing and then taking a decision will help you to make more informed decisions.
But do you not feel that switching your stream option constantly will confuse you to an extent where you don't know what to choose, and the syllabus might be ahead? Yeah, continue.
That is obviously there. But what I essentially mean is that you need to take a step back, right? So let's say if I have opted for commerce and then I switch back to science. Now this is where I should put an end to it, right? This is where I've experienced both worlds. Now this is the time where I need to take decision, right? So it's important to put an end to constantly switching between streams, and then I think you will be able to take informed decision. As we come to the end of today's episode, I'd like to ask you one last question. What can student essentially do, regardless of what stream do they opt for, to prepare themselves for their 11th grade?
I think there's a famous phrase called practice makes a man perfect.
Yeah.
And I think constantly practicing and choosing what you're good at, differentiating what you're good at and what you need to work on, and then keep on practicing and revising.
The concepts.
The concepts. This is what students can do. What do you think? What is that one method or anything that you think can help them?
As you mentioned, constantly practicing, revising. But sometimes I think it's also important to make sure that you complete your notes. Because I remember when I was in my 9th grade, I did not touch my chemistry portion, and then I skipped the entire chemistry portion in my 10th grade as well. It was only in my finals week that I completed my entire chemistry portion. So my suggestion, my advice, or one thing that students can do is to please make notes. Make notes every single day. Do not skip homeworks and study every single day, especially if you've opted for maths, or you might end up failing. So that's it for today's episode, everyone. We hope you enjoyed listening to us. And
this is Vrinda Pertani
and Srishti Kabra signing off.